So former comptroller Brad Lander, who was also running for New York City congressman, is a great friend of Zohran Mamdani, and also a very brown-nosing, self-loathing, soft Jew. And so we're gonna watch how he recites the Quran. It's fucking terrible. Let's check out.
Rahman Rahim. Kulhu Allahu Ahad, Allahu Samad, Lam Yalid wa Lam Yulad wa Lam Yakul lahu Kufan Ahad. Thank you very much for welcoming me today.
Kulu Ahad, Kulu Samad. Thank you for welcoming me today to Quran, to Masjid Al-Aqsa Ibn Khalil bin Jihad. I am a Jew, proud Jew, and I would like to increase the Muslim population while decreasing the Jewish burden on New York City.
So honored to have Brad Lander, former New York City comptroller, and now the Democratic nominee for Congress in New York's 10th district. Brad, thank you so much for being here.
It's an honor to be on with you, Batya. Long-time fan. Not always an agreeer, but a long-time fan.
I have to start by saying it's very cool that you came here. And the thing that I heard about you this week was from somebody who volunteers at the same soup kitchen as me, a kind of Haitian man about town, Rudy. And what he said to me was, Brad Lander won because everywhere you turn in this city, you see Brad Lander. He goes everywhere and he talks to everybody. So first of all, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate it. And I wanted to come here because I've seen you hold independent views. When you were at the Forward, you curated this very broad spectrum of point of views. And, you know, we'll disagree on some things, but in some ways that's what we're supposed to do as well, both like Jewishly and democratically. Yeah. And I'm grateful for the opportunity.
And many people would not have done this. So thank you again. All right, let's get started. Yeah. You left the DSA in 2023 over October 7th. You said that the language the DSA used about Hamas was vile, was the word you used. Yet now you're sharing a stage with them. You're accepting their support. How do you explain this 180?
So, you know, I joined DSA when I was a freshman in college in 1987, and I was active when I was on campus. I hadn't been really active since then, wasn't endorsed by them in any of my races. And yes, I thought the rally that they lifted up or co-sponsored on October 8th was vile, and I said so. At the same time, there's many things we agree on in the fight for Medicare for all, to make housing more genuinely affordable, to get money out of politics. So, you know, I made this cross endorsement of Mayor Mamdani last year because I didn't want Andrew Cuomo to be the mayor of New York City. And I thought we agreed on enough that that was the right thing to do. And he is focused on an affordability agenda in New York City. And I did try hard in my race to focus on the things that matter to the voters, both in my district, on housing, on healthcare, on money in politics.
But why wasn't that vile Hamas rally a deal breaker? I mean, you would never share a stage with Donald Trump, but he supports lowering the cost of housing, right? Whatever Trump has done is a deal breaker. Why was support for Hamas not a deal breaker from the DSA?
Well, DSA doesn't support Hamas. You'll have to have them on to talk about their views. There was a rally that they advertised, essentially, and I thought it was terrible, and I said so. And I met with their leadership afterwards, and I told them directly. And I'm really clear about, you know, we can talk about it, about my point of view on Israel and Palestine. There's some things I agree on, some things I disagree on. But those bigger goals of the ways that our current electoral system is failing working people with a broken status quo that's serving wealthy special interests and not working people, you need a team to fight together with. My, you know, political home for most of the last several decades has been the Working Families Party and will continue to be. But I will work with folks who want to do the things I think we need, like unrig our healthcare system or tax the wealthiest folks.
So there is no red line on the left after which you would no longer share a stage with someone. Will you campaign with Daria-Liza Chevalier, for example, who doesn't believe Israel exists, who wiped her hands with the American flag, hates America, hates Israel? Will you campaign with her?
I mean, you'll have to have her on herself.
She's now
the Democratic nominee to be a member of Congress.
Yes, you will?
I will support her in her general election, just like I'll support Tom Swazi and Laura Gillen and theirs who have point of views far to my right.
So
but
is there a red line beyond which someone is so anti-Semitic you won't share a stage with them?
I mean, for sure. And I don't think that Daria Liza is anti-Semitic. I urge you to have her on. She disagrees strongly about Israel, but I don't believe she has any animus for or ill will toward Jews. If I thought someone did, absolutely. If I thought that they had hate in their hearts, if I thought they were jeopardizing our safety, then no, I would not campaign with them.
You know that many, many Jews feel that Mamdani is endangering the safety of Jewish New Yorkers. I hear this every
Believe me, I'm sure I hear it more than you. So Jews are feeling so much fear and anxiety right now. I mean, anti-Semitism rises in times of war.
Oh, this is the most passive-aggressive discussion. It is like you can cut the tension with a knife. She can't stand him, and she's being so cordial. It's so puke. I mean, she's pushing at him. You know, she's pulling at the strings, but it's so cringy.
Or in times of fascism, and we're amidst both, and you see it, I think, most dangerously on the right, but you see it on the left as well.
Elias Rodriguez,
from both, there's no doubt from it's coming from both places.
Two people because he thought they were Jews in D.C. He chanted the same thing you chanted: "Free, free Palestine."
I mean, that's vile, yes, but there's a big difference. I mean, that was vile anti-Semitism, and I called it out the day it happened, and I try to do it every time when people graffitied the homes of the board members of the Brooklyn Museum, and I thought they were targeting them because they were Jewish, not having anything to do with policies toward Palestine. I'll call it out. But yes, I'm for a free Palestine because I don't think Israelis will be truly safe until Palestinians are free. And to me, there's just no contradiction between standing up for Palestinian human rights, as you have done. I mean, when you supported Issa Amro.
And on this very show, we're calling for people to pay attention to the protest in Gaza right now against Hamas. But Mamdani doesn't just want Palestinians to have their own state. He believes Israel should not exist as a Jewish state.
I mean, he thinks there should be a binational state that's a state for all its citizens. That's not my point of view. I remain a liberal Zionist. I believe in the vision of a...
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
You're good.
Well, I was going to say, most Jews view that view as an endangerment of the Jewish Israelis who live in Israel, to ask them to basically live under a majority Muslim rule, like to give Sharia law a chance, right? Most Jews feel that the view that Israel should be a binational state is to endanger the lives of 8 million Jews.
I mean, there are many Jewish anti-Zionists who also believe in the vision of a binational state. Albert Einstein, who they asked to be the president of Israel, had concerns that Jewish sovereignty wouldn't work well. This is a debate to have. I disagree with the mayor on this point, but I do not believe that he is endangering the lives of Jews. Here in New York City, he kept Jesse Tisch on as police commissioner. He grew the funding for the mayor's office to combat anti-Semitism. How Israelis and Palestinians are going to learn to live together, and whether that's as I think you and I think it should be, is in two states that each, Israel with a majority of Jews, but protecting the full equal rights of.
The problem that I'm noticing, and this is very common among American Jews, again, much more common among Ashkenazi Jews. I said it. I'm going to say it for the 5 millionth time. Brad Lander sees being a Jew as a cute thing. It's for him. It's like going out and getting ice cream. Like, I'm a Jew. It's a cutesy idea. Like, I'm gonna do Hanukkah with the family. He doesn't see Israeli Jews as part of his identity. To him, it's a foreign concept. Those are, this different Jews. They like live in a land far, far away. I'm an American. It's the same idea of how the Jews in Germany, so many of the Jews in Germany felt. Any Jew that doesn't have a strong connection to Israel and to the Jews of Israel end up like Brad. It's not complicated. You see in the way he speaks, he's a Zionist because, it's a thing. A lot of Jews wouldn't give him any sort of. He feels like, I'll get the support of the Jewish, even the Jewish liberals, if I say I'm a Zionist. But he's very careful to say it because he's afraid of the backlash from the anti-Zionist voters who make up probably more of the vote. And the reality is he's a puss. So he doesn't really know where he stands. He stands where the voters are. That's the reality. The guy has no backbone. Can you imagine if someone broke into this guy's house? Could you imagine if somebody attacked him or, God forbid, his family? This guy, you can see it. This guy can't defend anything. all he can do is speak. He doesn't have the physical prowess to do any sort of defending. Batya could probably kick his ass, by the way. Like,
It's Palestinian.
and you could say, oh, that doesn't really matter. It does, because when you have men like this who don't have any sort of an ability to physically show any sort of formidability, if that's a word. I know formidable is a word, formidable. If he can't be formidable in any form or fashion, you have you have a Jew, unfortunately, that succumbs to the hatred of Jew haters and Israel haters. This is the product of that. It could be broken down psychologically, but it's just I see the way he talks, his mannerisms, the way he dibble dabbles, the way he stutters. It's just it's unfortunate, but he is one of many Jews in the West that are like this.
Citizens and a Palestine with a majority of Palestinians, but there'll be some settler, minority Jewish members there. That makes sense to me, but there's people promoting a binational state or confederation. Palestinians and Israelis are going to have to sit down at the table and figure this out. And by calling for change to end a system that, look, I do think is essentially apartheid. That's not anti-Semitism, that's politics.
So Zohran Mamdani came under a lot of criticism for this comment that he made at a rally. I think you were at the rally. It was for your campaign and the other two that he endorsed. Let's play that.
Now is the time of monsters. These monsters take many forms today. In those who fund television ads that blanket the airwaves with misleading and bad faith attacks about Claire, Brad, and Dari. Those who would rather spend far more on political contributions than they would ever be made to pay in taxes. In AIPAC, for whom the only thing more frightening than democracy being allowed to run its course is an end to genocide and Netanyahu's wars.
This demonization of AIPAC as monsters who are undermining American politics, what's best for America, you yourself actually called this anti-Semitic. Can we pull this up? In a quote to the New York Times, you said that these tropes about AIPAC, about Jewish money and power are anti-Semitic, and then you said, but I have to talk about it in that way. I mean, how do you justify acknowledging that it is anti-Semitic to talk about Jewish support for Israel in this way and then doing it just for political expediency?
Not for political expediency, because I think what AIPAC is doing is corrosive for American democracy, is bad for Israel, is bad for Palestinians, is bad for the world at this point. When I said I feel like I have to, it's because I think what they're doing is dangerous and, yes, bad for Jews and Palestinians and the United States.
But
and
AIPAC
that's what I meant when I said...
just an avenue for pro-Israel American Jews to fund the candidates they like. Why should Americans just have less of a right to give money to candidates?
Well, to be clear, I have, when I say I think we need dark money out of politics, I always make clear I'm talking about Wall Street PACs and crypto PACs and AI PACs and private equity spending and AIPAC. I think that kind of super PAC, dark money is bad for our politics. Here in New York City, I passed the strongest independent expenditure disclosure act anywhere in the country. And I think it's important to put it in that broader framework. If you over-focus, particularly on AIPAC relative to other dark money, then I think you got to dig a little deeper. But yeah, I also think that AIPAC's upholding unconditional U.S. military support for Netanyahu's wars has been really terrible, like catastrophically bad. And I feel compelled to talk about it because those are my beliefs. They're very Jewish beliefs. Other Jews can disagree with them. And does it make me feel a little queasy? Just like when Marco Rubio said that Netanyahu persuaded Trump to go into war with Iran. Like, I don't think Marco Rubio was being anti-Semitic, but it borders on dangerous tropes. How to talk about, but you can't not talk about it. So to me, you try to be as careful as you can. I use the words, I try to choose my words carefully. I try to come everywhere to talk about it. Believe me, on the left, they know I want there to be a Jewish and democratic Israel.
But
so,
you
I get called a Zionist baby killer as often as a capo.
Well, but that's the point, is you're seeing...
I wouldn't use either of those words. I would say, here's my point of view. And that's why I'm here.
But you are seen by many Jews as sort of whitewashing the people who hate us and want to kill us and seek to do us wrong. And,
I don't believe they hate us or want to kill us.
Well,
or
all right.
Do us
Final
wrong.
question.
They have a different
Final
point
question.
Of view on whether there should be a Jewish state.
Okay, final question, which gets to the heart of this. Mrs. Mamdani posted a photo of herself on Election Day in which she told people to go out and vote and mentioned 2 of the 3 candidates who her husband had endorsed. Your name was left off. Why?
I mean, look, I was proud to have the mayor's support in this race. I was proud to cross-endorse him a year ago. You'll have to, I can't speak for her politics.
Why do you think she left you off?
I mean, look, I guess I'll say something a little different. If I think of myself as like anyone in Israel, it's standing together. It's this group of Israelis and Palestinians fighting for equal rights. And they just formed a political party. And I am so proud of them, Omdim Biachad, standing together. They're on the boycott, divestment, and sanctions list. It's part of why I don't participate in BDS. They're fighting for Palestinian human rights and equal rights. But they do it in a way that not everyone views as, that some people view as normalizing. So, I speak up for my politics. I try to tell you who I'm, like what I think and what I'm fighting for. And I think right now in New York City, something really hopeful is moving. And I guess I would ask you and other Jewish New Yorkers to take like one breath. Shabbat is approaching. We could disagree on how to approach Israel and Palestine and still not compromise on anybody's humanity, and standing up for the rights of Palestinian kids in Gaza, created just as much in God's image as my kids, doesn't mean that I won't stand up and fight fiercely for Jewish people as well.
Why did Mrs. Mamdani not endorse you?
I mean, you'll have to ask her that. I'm proud to have the mayor's support,
Brad Lander, God bless you and protect you. I am just so grateful to you for this conversation, which actually did make me feel a lot better.
I'm so glad. It was really nice.
So much for doing this.
Thank you.
Such an honor to have you. Thank you so much.
It's it makes me nuts. God, it was just being a Jew, man. Being a Jew. What a group. I mean, I guess you could say you have this sort of thing in every group, right? You have people who support, people who go against, and then people who claim to be in the middle. He's just juggling both sides, you know. And it's not about fully taking it's about when you are proud to be Jewish, you stand on certain principles. And the right has its issues, the left has its issues. The Jewish people are dealing with a lot of we're in a time period which is scary because Jewish Americans are not feeling the hatred right now that exists on the internet to the same extent. Thank God we're not seeing it in the streets compared to what we're seeing online. But the scary thing about that is that could change in heartbeat. And I think many Jewish Americans feel this. They feel the something brewing, and I surely do, but I don't live in New York. I live in Florida, so things are a little different. But I acknowledge that Brad Lander has his head so far up his ass, and leave your thoughts in the comments, guys. I really want to know what you guys think. Make sure to subscribe, smash the like button. Follow me, Rafi the Realtor, for all of your South Florida real estate needs. It would be incredibly appreciated if you were to go to the link in the description, the Buy Me a Coffee link. Show some love and support by sending a donation. And of course, I look forward to you tuning in to the next video. Until next time, peace out, folks.